Peace to the collective. I wanted to thank everyone for taking the time out to listen to my testimony. Um, I I had sat back and thought about um, at the time when I did the first video. I had sat back and I was really thinking about how many subscribers and how many people that were actually wanting to know the truth about our Indigenous American Anasazi heritage. And it's a few things that I have experienced since being registered that I wanted to share with you guys. And well, first, what I'd like to share with you is what Anasazi means. The word Anasazi means ancient ones. And I don't care what tribe you're from. I don't care what clan. I hate using that word tribe. It's really a clan. When a clan mother has over 6 to 7 children, she's considered a clan. It's a clan. You know what I mean? So all of the clans as one collective on the continent of America are considered as a whole, as a collective of peoples, are considered Anasazi. They recognize that within the UN. Not to say that they don't recognize the tribes or the clans. But I really, when I was in class, when I was taking the classes and everything, one day I asked the chief, I said, what does Indigenous mean? And she had explained what Indigenous mean. And Indigenous means in the genes. Everything in the soil of this continent is in our blood. So if you took a piece of the soil out of the ground and they did a test with the old blood and the soil, everything that's in that soil would be in your blood. So that is the terminology that I wanted to give you for the word Indigenous. Indigenous means in the genes. Okay? Like I said before, the blood don't lie. So that's your connection to this continent. Okay? Now, after I had became registered and throughout the experiences that I had being registered, I started to notice certain things about people, about the people that were living on our continent. And one day me and my dad was talking, and I think something had happened where, I'm not sure exactly what it was, but my dad had made the reference, well, Isan, you got to start separating the wheat from the tear. And I said, well, what do you mean, Dad? He said, you separate the wheat from the tear. He said, tear looks like wheat, but it's not wheat. That's why they have to separate it. So, as I went through my journey of taking the class, I remember the chief saying, she said something to the degree of, you never know, you might be sleeping with the enemy. Okay? And at the time, I didn't even know what she was really talking about. You know what I'm saying? But as time went on, she said, well, basically she had said to me, like, okay, you never know when you're sleeping with the enemy. If you become intimate with a female, and if you're dating, you know what I mean, you're in a date with her or whatever, y'all going together or whatever, you know what I'm saying, if you become intimate with her, and right after you're intimate with them, you start fighting and arguing, you might be sleeping with the enemy. So at the time, later on, you know, I met a sister or whatever, and I noticed that we started fighting immediately after we were intimate. And I was trying to feel, I'm like, but what the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? So, one day I was having a session with the chief on the phone, and I had asked her about what she meant in the class. You know what I'm saying? And she somehow, when I was explaining, when I had talked to her about it, somehow we got on the topic of blood. And I remember the person that I was dating. I remember, you know what I mean? She looked like me. This is what I mean, separating the wheat from the tare. She looked like us, but she wasn't us. So I asked the chief, I said, what's A positive? She said, that's pale face blood. I said, oh shit. I'm sleeping with the enemy. So she, one day we had got into an argument again. I mean, we were always arguing. You hear me? We were always arguing. So one day I was in the kitchen doing the dishes or whatever, and I turned around to her and I said, you said your blood was A positive, right? She said, right. Yeah, I did say it was A positive, you know. I said, who in your family was pale face? And she smiled and laughed at me. She said, oh, my grandmother. I said, at that point, that's when the relationship was over, okay? I understood completely why we were arguing so much. Because I was actually sleeping with the enemy. So one of the people that made a comment on my first video, she said something about why are you scolding us, and why are you just tell us how to do it. And there's a discipline that goes with being registered, and I can't just put this on you guys and you're not disciplined. Okay, there's a discipline that goes with it. That's why I had to take a 3-day class. Okay, you can't be balling down the street with a million guns in your thing and think that you're not going to be prosecuted for that just because you're registered. Okay, but I'm gonna get into that a little bit later. But it's some experiences that I want to share with you guys, because I didn't have that opportunity to, as far as using my registration and how to use it and the do's and don'ts and the laws of it. I had to experience that on my own. Okay? And so I just wanted to I don't want to stay on here too long, but because I got a lot of other things that I need to do. But I would definitely, I'm humbly and I'm thankful and I'm grateful that everyone took the time out to listen to me, because it's truly in my heart to help you guys, because like I said before, time is running out. Okay? And as soon as I got so much work to do, believe me. And what I want for myself, I want for the next sister and brother out there. This ain't just, to brag about it and all of that. The reason why you might have felt that way, sis, is because I was defending Dane, Calloway, and all of the rest of the brothers and sisters that are out there teaching. And I was letting the agents and the wicked ones know, separating the wheat from the tare. I was letting them know that there is someone out here. I ain't the only one that's registered now, believe me. It was about 15, I don't know. I know 15 of them left the class, because the first thing the chief said, she said, if your blood is not O, then feel free to leave this class. And I say it may have been about like 50 of us in there, maybe. I can't give you an exact number, but what I do know is that about 15 to 20 people got up out of that classroom and left because they knew that their blood was not O. So this is the reason why I'm saying you need to really start asking these questions to the people that you surround yourself with. A lot of them may not even know their blood type, but there are those that do know who they are, and they do know their blood type. And another thing is, all of these people from the islands and things of that nature, no disrespect, but start letting them know. People, immigrants that come here to our continent, you know, start putting them in their place. Sometimes they need it. And you need to put them in their place like this. First of all, you couldn't even create positive change on your own God-given land. So don't come over here thinking you're going to lead me. You couldn't even lead your own people over in your own land. And if you go back, they might kill you. That'll back them up off of you. But start feeling proud about being Indigenous American Indian. And that native thing, hey, stop using that native. Native means native means basically you were just born here. You have no connection to the land. So that Native American, that's the trick. That Native American thing, I'm Native American. No, you're not Native American. You're Indigenous American Indian. Okay? And don't ever forget that. But that native means you were just born here. You know what I mean? You have no connection to the land and the animals here that are indigenous to the land. You have no connection to the trees. And no, that's why you're always having a whole lot of medical problems and everything, because you're not in your continent. You're not on your continent. If you notice with people that are immigrants, they bring their food here. The same way if we went over to their country, their food would make us sick. Well, our food makes them sick, so they have their food shipped here. Okay? I hope I was able to share a little bit. You know, I'm doing the best I can. This, my cat, he just ran up my car. He always does that. I love him to death, though. As I was saying, I humbly thank you for taking the time out to listen to what I'm saying. And I'm going to be working on the next video, and I'm going to get a little bit more in depth of the experiences that I had with using my registration. I'm talking about within the court system, within speeding ticket. I mean, you know, tickets of speeding. You know, you ever wonder why they're killing all of us? You know what I mean? Because we're calling ourselves immigrants, and you become chattel property. And they pretty much, if you don't step outside of that box of recognizing who you are, you're subjected to whatever they decide to do with you. Okay? So this is the reason why I'm sharing my experience with you, and I have some deep stuff that I want to share with you guys. And when that time comes, we will definitely build from there. But peace and blessings to all of my collective, and peace and blessings to all of the people that decided to learn a little something. Yes. Hey, if I don't know something, hey, let me know. You know what I'm saying? I will want to know the truth. You know what I mean? I don't hold all of the answers. But us as a collective, if you kicking the truth and I'm kicking the truth, then truth is truth. Okay? And, you know, in order to be a good teacher, you got to be able to listen. And it's a lot of discipline that goes with having this registration. You know what I mean? The sister said, I remember her saying, you know, the Most High blessed you. Well, let me tell you something about this registration. Yes, it is a blessing, but it's also a curse. And I definitely want to I definitely want to share those experiences with y'all on the do's and don'ts of this whole thing. So, peace and blessings to the collective. I will get back with you real soon. Peace and blessings.